Welcome to worship with the community of the First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Dave Richardson. Mike McAtee and I will be serving as your worship associates today. First, we have an important announcement from our President-elect, Sherry Connor. It's regarding our annual mid-year meeting.
Morning, all. I'm here to announce the 2024-25 semi-annual congregational meeting. That will be at this time, same back channel. Please be here. We will be discussing the agenda, which will include the mid-year budget report, the sabbatical team report, motion with respect to the undertaking of major repairs and improvements of the First Unitarian Church building. So, the motion is made to approve expenditures, to establish a 2025 project fund, establish a building maintenance and self-insurance reserve fund, and undertake a First Unitarian Church 2025 capital campaign. Also, we want to give establish or put all undesignated gifts and bequests not specified to the 2025 capital campaign fund. And I may not have worded that correctly, but anyway, if you do have questions, I will answer on that. And please refer to your mailers. You received them in the mail. That would have been a couple weeks ago, and that would give you more details. Okay.
Thank you, Sherry. Whether you are attending online or in person, we are glad you have chosen to join us for worship. Worship, which in Latin means to remember that which is of worth, to call us to our highest values. And a special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It is a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It is a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration, and we share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this community. If you're joining us on YouTube, you can use the comments feature to share joys and concerns that will be lifted up later in worship, or to say hello to other online attendees, or to share something about how the service connected with you. It is appropriate to acknowledge that the First Unitarian Church of Omaha occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Oto-Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We would also like to express our respect to the Ponca tribe of Nebraska, the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, the Santee Sioux tribe of Nebraska, and over 170 other tribes represented within the Omaha area. I'm going to turn things over now to Mike McAtee, who will give you some insights about our service today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike McAtee, and as many of you know, I am a member of this congregation. But More importantly, especially in regards to today's worship service, I am Mindful Mike. Mindful Mike is my Alternatives to Violence Project, or AVP, affirmation name. I am just one of many volunteers and participants that have joined the Omaha AVP family seeking the way of nonviolence. It is my pleasure today to give you a brief introduction to AVP and its mission. So what is AVP? AVP is a grassroots, global, nonviolent community that works to reduce violence and create peace. Our fundamental belief is that there is a power for peace and good in everyone, and that power can transform, whether that be violence, ourselves, or even the world. We call this transforming power. It is at the heart of AVP. Participants in AVP learn to use the transforming power mandala and its accompanying guides to transforming power to transform violence and hostility in their lives into goodwill and peace. We try and nurture that power in every participant by exploring and reflecting on our own life's experiences and sharing those experiences with others in our experiential workshops. Today's worship service is but one example of the kind of things that we do. Today's worship theme is based on our Transforming Power Guide number 3. And it states, listen, everyone has made a journey. Try to understand where the other person is coming from before you make up your mind. We believe by telling stories of our individual journeys that we will help others find common ground, connect with empathy, and honor our shared humanity. Many of the stories that you'll hear today come out of 2 recent AVP UNO storytelling workshops. In these workshops, UNL's English students and AVP participants work together in small groups to create what's called a zine, a mini storybook, if you will, to tell the story of their journey. You'll hear more about these zines, these powerful and creative tools, later in the service. I'd like to end my brief little introduction to AVP by expressing the deep gratitude of the Omaha AVP family to this congregation for its continuing support, especially for the generous use of church facilities, without which we could not be able to afford the many workshops we now offer. We'd also like to thank you for this opportunity to share who we are and for helping us to break down stigmas around incarcerated citizens. So, I ask that you now listen and let us begin today's journey.
Brewer will conduct the lighting of the flaming chalice, the symbol of our faith.
Capable Cliff will be help lighting the chalice with me, and I'm going to read some words that introduce me to AVP and my journey and the journey of the men that I come in contact with. Suzanne King introduced me to AVP. With AVP tools, I continue my journey living with mental illness. I understand that to deal with the changing behavior through transforming power into a life without conflict is a journey that begins happy, joyful, and freedom within. Now I am a trained AVP facilitator. A journey is a transformation in my life change. Journeys come in different forms, none is easy, and they never end. I came to understand that incarcerated men come through a system where transforming power is tough. The violence and conflict all around, AVP tools help them to when they return to society. Men I have come to know at AVP want a life without violence. I see them challenging themselves and working to make their own changes through their own transformation. They learn that conflict could be without violence. The men look in the mirror and see that they can find freedom within through communication and through transforming power. A new journey using AVP, Freedom Men. Thank you.
Our call to worship this morning will be presented by our AVP contributors.
Good morning, everybody.
In AVP, there's a thing that goes with our zine, and we chose Think Before Reacting because it fits. You'll understand why.
Just like every person out there, there's zines of all shapes and sizes. Our story is called The Majority. The purpose is we want to show people that diverting from the majority is okay. A lot of people struggle with wanting the approval of others, and that can sometimes hold us back. Other people will always judge you, but it's whether you choose to listen to them that's up to you. Don't go for what you know you can get. Go for what you really want. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. The students are lining up for recess and talking about wanting to play tetherball and how they're going to win. Students rush over to the tetherball pool. Jonah doesn't want to play the game, but the spider tells him You have to play the game, otherwise you'll be an outcast. The cricket tells him, don't go for what you know you can get. Go for what you really want. The spider's argument is more convincing than the cricket's in the moment, and Jonah goes into the game. Jonah stops paying attention for a second and gets hit in the face with the tetherball. Oohs and gasps ring out across the playground, and Jonah gets embarrassed. He quickly gets up and runs to a different part of the playground. As Jonah is running, he notices a kid sitting by himself on the playground. Out of curiosity, Jonah goes up to the boy and introduces himself. The boy smiles back at Jonah, introducing himself as Matt. He soon opens his mouth to say something else, but the spider interrupts him. What are you doing? Go back to the game. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb, do you? Matt frowns at the spider and quickly flicks it off Jonah's shoulders. He smiles and says, not wanting to play the game and having different opinions from others is totally okay. Sometimes the crowd isn't always for you, so you just have to make your own crowd. With each comment that is said, Jonah gains more color. Jonah thanks Matt for his kind words, and he asks him to go on the swings. Matt agrees, and they race to the swings. When Jonah and Matt get to the swings, they find another student who has no color. They go up to the kid and introduce themselves. Now, call to action for this is listen to that cricket on your shoulder and go your own way. Sometimes the majority isn't for you, and that's okay. Knowing what you believe and what you want to achieve is the most important thing. If that requires not following the crowd, so be it. Stay true to yourself and don't let the opinions of others hold you back. Do not fight in the darkness. Let the light in and the darkness will disappear. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Thank you.
Morning, my name is Musical Morello. I choose those names because I play the drums. I'm a drummer. I had the opportunity to talk about looking for not a non-violent path, and I would like to read what this on the back side. And this says, to seek a non-violent solution, first to be willing to lay aside habitual assumptions that violent or destructive solutions are the only ones possible, and be willing to try something different, believe that win-win solution is possible, and that there is something in your opponent, however hidden it may be, that is willing to join you in seeking such a solution. I have 16 years under state prison. Right now I am in a board release center. And in all those time, I saw many conflicts between inmates. And unfortunately, one more of those conflicts turned on in fights. But I want to apply this in my life, because if I want to respect, I need to show respect to others. So looking for a non-violent path solution, I think the world can be much better. Just not only in a personal, but in a society, and we need to take advantage of those. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mighty Mary, and when I started AVP, I had brown hair. Now I've got this. So my tool is expect the best, and with AVP is experiential. So to expect the best, I'd like us all to think of, if we're going for a job interview and we think we're not going to get it. We think the person that's interviewing us really doesn't like us. How would our bodies react? And I'm going to ask you to just, how would you feel? You know, what would your face look like? Now, if we expect the best going into that job interview, what's the difference? How do we walk in? What does our face look like? What is our body doing? You know, experiential. There's a difference. And expecting the best, for me, has been a journey. And like I said, I started with brown hair, and now am this. And which each passing year, each passing workshop, each passing group of men, we keep learning. I keep learning. And in this day and age where there are a lot of fractured relationships due to politics, due to whatever, expecting the best sometimes is hoping for what is possible. And if we don't hope for what is possible, it's kind of hard to get there. So expecting the best is a really important tool. And one thing I've learned too in relationships, something I just recently, I think, started to understand, is that if there has been a fractured relationship, sometimes we ask for forgiveness. Sometimes we forgive that person. And sometimes we forgive ourselves for whatever part we might have played in it. So expecting the best, great philosophy. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jubilant Jose. I've been involved in AVP for over 10 years. The reason I chose caring for others, because at one time I wasn't a very caring individual. I have hurt people in my past, and it's something I'm not proud of. But I stand here today saying AVP really helped me become a changed person. And I think AVP, when people actually learn the concept and actually apply themselves, whether you're an incarcerated citizen, I don't use the word inmate, I use incarcerated citizen, because one day we'll all be citizens returning back to society, and how society accepts us really determines our outcome. So we're all in this together. Caring for others is about communicating honestly, clearly, and non-threateningly. Enables others to drop their defenses and really hear what is being said. Just as important, communication requires active listening, giving full attention to another so they really feel heard. Approaching difficult or potentially divisive encounters by seeing the good in others and being concerned about their well-being and satisfaction promotes win-win solutions. So I think today, while we're all in this together, we're all caring for others, we can all learn from each other, and this is a great experience for everyone, and I just thank everyone here in this wonderful community for accepting us for who we are, what we are, and really helping us in our journey in life moving forward. I'm Jubilant Jose. Thank you.
I am Mike. In looking at the adjectives, magic was already taken. And after today, I am Ditzy Mike. Ask me about that later. But the name that I chose is Mysterious Mike. I have many sides to me. Many of them have been hidden from most people. So that's why I chose that name. I was a volunteer for Teddy Bear Hollow. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a grief agency for kids and families for grief support. I love the job. But I had this friend here in the red, Mary Mike, Mighty Mike, Mighty Mary. Too many names. Anyway, she kept bugging me, and after about 2.5 years, I ran out of excuses. And I said, okay, I know it's your passion, but it's really not mine. Anyway, I went, looked around at all these guys, and I saw my son's face in many of them. My son was a challenged child. He's still alive, but he's not so much of a challenge anymore. And told my story. And the guys afterwards felt that my words resonated with them as a mother of somebody that had a lot of challenges. So I thought, well, maybe I do have a place in this. And then in going through the workshop, found that there was so much in there for me in dealing with anger management, relationships, the many challenges that we all have. I think I brought back more, and I just couldn't stop talking about it. My kids thought I was crazy. But, and I've been there ever since. Well, actually, I took a break with COVID, kind of kept staying away, and then Suzanne King, Soulful Suzanne, did the same job, dragging me, kicking and screaming, but I came back. And I'm so glad that I'm here. Sorry. I really feel like I do a decent job in respecting others, but I have worked hard to respect myself. Didn't realize that was an issue. Thank you.
My name is Grateful Gerald. I'm here to represent the Transforming Power. And what this is, I'm a formerly incarcerated citizen who did 25 years in prison, who recently got out and became the outreach coordinator for the Alternatives to Violence Project. So here I am today trying to show evidence of what it is to make a choice or make a decision. So in AVP, the biggest way I could put it is that you make choices, you make decisions. So if you take something that is negative and you can turn it into a positive, that becomes transforming power. And that's what we try to teach at AVP for conflict resolution, is that we really want people to say, it doesn't matter how negative the situation is, you can make that situation into a positive by the choices that you make and by the decisions that you make. So the other principle of transforming power is, when it comes to interactions with people, it shouldn't be about domination, and it shouldn't be about exclusion. It should be about including people and trying to find common ground. So that way you don't try to assert your ideas and beliefs on someone. Likewise, you don't want to assert those on someone else, which is why we are an open organization that allows people to come in where they're at, where they are, and then we also just try to say, hey, let's look at things and see things differently. So with that, I'll pass it over. So thank you.
No. Right.
Our story for all ages will be presented by Appreciative Aaron.
Do believe. Do you want me just to set this here? Oh, okay. I am wired up. I'm appreciative.
Do you want the kids to come up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he looks like he's sleeping. Yeah. So I want him, no. Let him go, man. I used to be him. If all the kids would like to come up front, that'd be great. Story time. I would like to read a book to them. This is called You Weren't With Me, and this book was created by Chandra Gosh Ippen and illustrated by Eric Ippen Jr. And it revolves around separation. And there were times in our life where adults, children may have felt a moment in their time where they felt separated from those that they loved and didn't know how or why or where to handle that. So this is just a little story. Little bright faces. Yeah, that's right. That's stretch out, man. That's what I like. He even gave you the. All right, I like that. So, you weren't with me. Got a lot of hair underneath there, don't you? So this is for families who have experienced difficult separations. We hope this book helps you talk about your experiences and bring you closer. I wanted you to hold me, said Little Rabbit. I wanted to hug you and never let you go, sighed Big Rabbit. But you weren't there, whispered Little Rabbit. Big Rabbit took a deep breath and replied, I'm so sorry I wasn't with you. We are together now. Little Rabbit thought for a while and finally spoke. Yes, but sometimes I am very mad. I don't understand why you weren't with me. I worry you will go away again. My tummy hurts. I don't trust you. I feel scared. When I am upset, I need you. But then I get mad and I push you away. I don't know what to do. I like you, man. Cool. Big Rabbit listened carefully and then softly said, I am very sorry and very sad that this happened. I wasn't with you and you didn't understand why. You probably felt confused, scared, hurt, sad, angry. You probably felt so alone. I did, exclaimed Little Rabbit. I felt so alone, confused, scared, angry, hurt, sad. I didn't know where you were. Where were you? Asked Little Rabbit. Big Rabbit remembered and then shared from the heart. I wasn't with you, but I was thinking about you all the time. I hoped and planned and dreamed and worked so I could get back to you because you are so important and I love you so much. It took a long time, said Little Rabbit softly. Too long, agreed Big Rabbit. I don't know what it was like for you when I wasn't there, Big Rabbit added. But I want to know. I want to know what you did. I want to know if there were good people who helped you. I want to know if bad or scary things happened too. I want to give you all the hugs and kisses that I couldn't give you then. I wasn't with you then, said Big Rabbit, but I'm here now. Little Rabbit and Big Rabbit were quite close now. Then looked into each other's eyes and then said, we are together again after so long. What's your name? Huh? What's your Marcus? Gray? You're a good dude, man. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? You don't know?
Cat hugger.
You like cats? Are you kidding me? I love cats.
I want to buy 10,000 cats.
You love cats a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I literally want to buy 10,000 cats.
Yep. Every week we take up an offering in support of our liberal religious values. Half of the loose change and currency in the offering plate is donated to a cause with a local presence which Unitarian Universalism can support. Those of you on YouTube, you may choose to donate directly to the organization online, as mentioned. Share the Plate recipient for December is the Alternatives to Violence Project. We now enter into a time of care and centering. Each week we express our joys and concerns. Those online can put those items to be shared in the comment area. All items to be shared will be presented by Colin McDonald. Do we have any, Colin? Okay.
From Patricia Pyatt, saying, my joy this week is that I had a wonderful Thanksgiving at the home of Patricia, and Harold Sanchez Soto. Their family is so warm and friendly. I had a chance to meet fun and interesting people from other nations around the world. Truly one of the best days. Hope everybody's day was happy. And from Robert Cathy saying, pray for my daughter's exam.
We now enter into a time of thoughtfulness with a reading from Thich Nhat Hanh will be read by Capable Cliff.
How's everybody doing out there? Forgive me, I just got this today. If somebody's not able to do the thing, then it's the next man up. So, and actually, as I was reading it, I thought to myself, this is actually very heavy. So, with that, I'll begin. Many of us all over the world are trying to bring about a kind of collective awakening. If we manage this, all will be well, and we will know how to live together in harmony and with each other and with the earth. Together, we will know what to do to save the planet and make a future possible for our children and their children. This change of consciousness can be achieved when we realize the independent nature of reality. That part got me. This change of consciousness can be achieved when we realize the independent nature of reality, a realization that each of us can experience in a unique way. This realization is not the result of any ideology or system of thought. It is the fruit of our direct experience of reality in its multiple relationships. Thank you.
Thank you. And now soulful Suzanne King will introduce the readings and the zine stories.
I'm so excited to see so many people here. Thank you so much. This is a very special service, and I'm really grateful that the way Melissa put the announcement this week that we are an annual service, so I guess we'll be back next year too. The Zine Project, and I'm looking out here to see if Dustin's here. So will you stand up, Dustin? Yeah, you didn't know you were going to get singled out, did you? So, I had already decided that this year our theme would be Listen, Everyone's Made a Journey. And then in August, Dustin came by to drop off some books for AVP. It was Sentences That Create Us. I think I got that right. And it was a book about writing your stories and giving different examples and people who had been system impacted telling how they wrote different story styles. And before the day was over, we had hatched a plan for this workshop. Dustin hatched the plan and I agreed to it. That's really the true story. To do the zine, well, I didn't really know quite what a zine was. I had heard Linda Parker talk about one, but I really didn't know it, but I said, sure, we'll try this. And gratefully, we have had a lot of support from Warden Gable and Assistant Warden Erickson, and everything we do has to get approved by them. So if we don't have their support, we're kind of done. And then I found out that Assistant Warden Erickson has a degree in English, and this was collaborating with the English class, so we had a good chance here. So what we did, Dustin teaches the English class, Incarceration and Punishment. And at UNO, the Service Learning Academy works with combining classroom settings with community settings. And so we were an excellent opportunity for this. We matched up, set up groups of 4. I took the participants from AVP that were going to contribute stories, and Dustin paired his students, so we had groups of 4, 2 students and 2 AVP participants. And they had, as you hear these zines and these stories, they had 4 hours to come up with getting to know each other, coming up with a common story theme, and writing a storyline. And then the students had one more week to create the zine and turn it in for their assignment. So as you look at these, the work that was done in that short 2 weeks just blows me away. First time I looked at these, I was all choked up and crying because these are so beautiful. Every story is different. And during coffee hour, the printed zines are going to be downstairs so you can come and look at them. We only have time to do 4 stories this morning. There are 3 more stories that we don't have time for, so please do come down, meet the authors, speak to the people who made them, listen to their stories. Our first story that we're going to do is called Everything We Do is Driven by You. The authors, Mexican Marcos and Ziggy Zach, weren't able to be here this morning, so I'm going to flip through this, but I really want the other storytellers to have more time for their stories that follow this. So their story is about, they took a car, and there were 4 people in the group, and each one of the 4 people became a wheel of the car. They told their stories by one person being, I'll just do the summary here. I'm the front left tire. My first experience with the road is a very smooth ride, but later I found out it could get really rough fast, and one wrong turn, it would all come to an end. I am the front right tire. My experience with the road was very rough. I pulled off the lot and scraped the curb. This is really light print. I'm the back right tire. My first experience with the road is driving like normal, and then all of a sudden, I went into a pothole. I'm the back left tire. My experience was like any other until a nail went in the tire. It's hard not to notice at first, but it can turn into an issue. And throughout the zine, each man tells his story by the tire that he represents in the story. And I invite you to come downstairs to see these later. Our next, I seem to come up here quite unprepared. Our next person to speak is going to be Jalapeno Jose.
Good morning. I am Jalapeno Jose. I'll be doing a short story by Joy Harjo, Women Who Fell from the Sky. I traveled far above the earth for a different perspective. It is possible to travel this way without the complications of NASA. This beloved planet we call home was covered with an elastic web of light. I watched in awe as it shimmered, stretched, dimmed, and shined, shaped by the collective effort of all life within it. Dissonance attracted more dissonance. Harmony attracted harmony. I saw revolutions, droughts, famines, and the births of new nations. The most humble kindnesses made the brightest lights. Nothing was wasted. I understood love to be the very gravity holding each leaf, each cell, this earthy star together. Thank you.
Our next story is Unshackled Stories, and it's going to be read by Studious Stacy. The co-author, Fiery Fred, couldn't be with us this morning.
Good morning. I'm Studious Stacy, and this zine was written by 3 students, Gage, and Vincenzo, who interviewed Fred and me for this experience. I'll read it in the third person as they wrote it, but this tells my story and Fred's story and some of our similar and different experiences. The purpose of this zine is to show how everyone makes mistakes. People of all kinds can be sent to prison for something dumb. The most important part is what you do after being put in such a bad place. Stacy's experience before prison. Stacy says he wasn't the typical person you see going to prison. He grew up in a nice family with no home issues. He went to college and had no trouble finding work. Stacy considered himself different from criminals, quote, in his life before prison. He learned that little bad decisions over time can lead to some really big consequences. Stacy now believes that if you're not living out your purpose that God led you to, it will get you in trouble. If you don't do something good, you will do something bad. This is one of the reasons that Stacy spent his time while incarcerated writing. And one of the verses that impacted me, James 4:6, says, God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. And I can explain more downstairs if anybody has a question about why that relates. Fred's experience before prison. In high school, Fred was an AB student. He was on the homecoming court and the senior class president. He was also an athlete in 3 sports. After graduating, he went on to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and received a degree in communication studies. Fred grew up with his dad, who was his biggest life contributor. His parents divorced when he was 6, and his dad later remarried when he was 9. Fred grew up in a broken family environment where he experienced various kinds of abuse. He never realized how much the abuse affected him until in prison, when he was forced to deal with those traumas. He grew up in North Omaha around drugs and violence, but had stayed away from it. Stacy's transition. Excuse me. Stacy was not in prison for long, only being there for about 3 years. He mentioned in prison that there's this heavy us versus them mindset. It helped Stacy a lot when he got out that he never succumbed to the institutional mindset. The effects of prison were still wearing him down despite his mental fortitude. While incarcerated, he returned to college at Metro Community College. While inside, he wrote 4 books, 2 movie screenplays, and a TV series. Stacy also plugged into resources that help people find jobs and build confidence. He found a program that paid him to go to school. He got an internship, and he helped build medical devices. He has a book out and a business startup along with it. His transition was a lot more positive than what other inmates were experienced, and he credits this to his mindset, which he kept despite the circumstances. Fred's transition. Fred's transition started with healing. Fred took various classes while inside prison. He did Bible study and went to counseling in order to help him recover from his childhood traumas and his imprisonment. Fred worked at a couple of factories before his incarceration, but during his transition, he overhauled a data system at a large nonprofit organization, helping it to grow from $1 million to $4 million of donations per year. When he left prison, he realized the amount of work that he needed to do on himself due to his trauma. He got out of a toxic relationship, which made him realize that he needed to prioritize himself and to work on his own goals. Excuse me. Stacy's story about being a father. Stacy has 2 children, a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. These adults have been disconnected from Stacy for a while, and exerting his influence as their parent would be too overbearing. Quote, they're old enough to decide on their own. After his wife left with the kids and his bout with prison, he has the peace, quote, the peace that I know God is taking care of them. He's still working on improving himself so that his kids can find him a reliable family member. Fred's story about being a father. Fred hasn't seen his son since he was incarcerated 12 years ago. He wants to let go of the prison mindset in his head before he reconnects with the children to avoid dishing as much pain between the two as possible. Even after going through courses and doing bouts of self-reflection, he still can't bring himself to see his son. Another barrier is that he would have to reconnect with his ex-wife. Quote, like, what is my ex-wife telling my son? The disconnect between Fred and his family grows every day. Conclusion. Stacy and Fred have gone through many trials and tribulations to get their lives back together and to reconnect to what they had before being incarcerated. Along the way, they have learned virtues such as grief, vigor, hope, and grit. We should care about Stacy and Fred's stories because they show us that anybody can do wrong and be incarcerated. The most important part is not to lose your way and to keep moving your life in a positive direction, no matter what happens. Thank you.
You want me to introduce
This is a welcoming community, and we open up with saying anybody from all walks of life is welcome here. Vic has found a home here at First Unitarian, and he's going to tell you some of his story, and Reliable Randell is his story partner. You want to come up, Randy?
Morning, everyone. Hail. I go by Vic, as many of you know. I'm also called Daddy by my daughter. Hi, Joy. Love you. I'm also called Facilitator by AVP, but I'm called Inmate by the state of Nebraska. I joined the Alternatives to Violence Project to do just that, find ways to work with my relationships where neither side would feel harm. My life had made me proficient in none of these ways. We have given this service to show who we are. As members of AVP, we learn to listen. Everyone has made a journey. I thank you and want to show you my appreciation to this congregation for helping us and many others on our path forward to our new and better lives, hopefully back with our families as well. Because of AVP meeting here and this church's message, I've made this place a part of my life as a regular attendee at these Sunday services, and I have chosen this because of acceptance. Everyone here has listened with interest to my faith, my past, and my ramblings. Not many I have met have had similar experiences to us, but everyone has tried to understand. I grew up alone in a full household, grounded and beaten. Lack of social skills from this made me an outsider when I got into middle school. I related to others that felt shunned by the majority, and I agreed with practices of getting back and having fun at the expense of those who perpetrated that injustice that me and my friends felt. We used drugs to numb ourselves and take our minds off the pain and society at large. When we were caught, society sent us away further from normal, punished for not being able to fix ourselves, even though we were never given the tools. Places like this and groups like AVP are different, though. People like you are strong enough to know who you are and courageous enough to accept those who are different. That strength of character you shows us that we don't have to return hurt for hurt and pain for pain. We can stand with those who have been traumatized, but also help those same victims become caring, nurturing healers. In my belief, nothing is gained but through struggle. The fire we light to open the portal to the gods comes through the friction of the bow drill. The fire and warmth that connects and heals us in the web of weird comes only by resistance as pressure. I am Ragnar, warrior, and I thank you all for helping us on our journey and for being a part of the struggle that brings new life. Now my friend and good partner in smiles, Reliable Randell, will share our zine, which was created by students we partnered with, Savea and Aiden from UNO. No, they might be online though.
Hello, everyone. Glad everyone could be here. I'm so very happy that I could be here. My name is Reliable Randell. I was named after my grandfather. My real name's Grandpa. We have a zine here that basically talks about reinforcing one's goodness in oneself. It helps us to see who we are and how we affect other people also. Beneath the dirt, where human eyes can't see, 2 young potatoes grow and play happily. They live in a home just like yours, with toys and treats and rooms to explore. Sweetie and BB live happy lives. They strive to be themselves, to always be kind. Sometimes they don't get each other, and that's okay. They always make sure to meet each other halfway. If Sweetie is sad, BB will give her a hug. And if BB is mad, Sweetie will listen and will not judge. Sometimes other potatoes can be mean, but Sweetie and BB know that's just what they see. Someone is unique in their own way. Sweetie and BB know they must be true and kind to themselves by the end of the day. Sweetie and BB know not to say mean things because it may hurt someone more than they think. Sometimes they slip up, and that's okay. They make sure to always apologize and fix their mistakes. Sweetie and BB want you to know that nobody's perfect, no matter how old. Everyone's learning and everyone grows, just like the trees and even your toes.
Sizes and shapes and the colors they were made. Everyone's different in their own way. Lives are picked, choices are made, but you can't judge someone for another's mistakes. Sweetie and BB know this now, and they ask you to share this knowledge with your pals. Choose kindness over hatred and compassion over fear. Use this for yourself and for others who are near. Sweetie and BB are tired now. This long chat really wore them out. Maybe they'll take a nap or even a walk. They thank you for taking the time to listen to them talk. Hopefully now you understand better the effect that kindness can have on yourself and others. Whilst the topic of the zine may seem overstated, we believe in the power of repetition, just like in school. The easiest way to remember is to study the information multiple times so it sticks in your head. Kindness and grace is something we need more of in this world, especially with the unfavorable state that it is in now. If you practice kindness for yourself and others, then eventually it will become a part of your daily life. Acts of kindness can be big or small. The idea is to take action and make someone's day just a little bit brighter. You can do this by feeding the homeless, holding the door open for someone, giving someone a compliment, telling a friend or family member that you love them. Do not judge based on looks, but more actions, and volunteer at your local library, soup kitchen, or the Alternatives to Violence Project. Yeah.
Thank you.
This has been a wonderful project to work on, to watch the men work together, to get to see the students. By the time the first evening was over, they said, can you call back to prison and get us more time so we can stay here longer to work on our stories? The friendships were beautiful. The energy in the room was wonderful. And we have one more story. Restored Ramsey wasn't able to come to the zine class because he was working, and he's going to lead us in This Little Light of Mine and tell us his story in that way. So everybody who received a candle, light your candle. If you want to come up here and sing This Little Light of Mine with us, you're welcome to come up to the front.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All up in my heart, all up in my heart. Satan can't take it away. My God gave it to me. Satan can't take it away. My God gave it to me. Satan can't take it away. My God gave it to me. Satan can't take it away. Take it away. Can take it away. Can take it away. All up in my home. All up in my home. introduced to AVP by this little. That's this guy knows me. I don't need a mic.
There's people on Zoom. They can't.
Okay, I was introduced to AVP by this wonderful lady here. I love you.
I love you too, man.
And I love all the volunteers. Man, you know, darkness comes upon us, and we have to have hope and pray that one day it will be overcome in our lives. And the one thing that I've come to know in my walk with God and in my interaction with people is that all it takes is a flicker to defeat darkness. So I've come to learn that God has allowed me to become a flicker. I don't have to be a flame, because as long as I just keep flicking and flicking and flicking, I'm defeating darkness. You know, so when you feel like that life is getting overwhelmed, things aren't going your way, people don't want to know you or don't care about you, it's not true. Because if you look to the right or you look straight ahead, there's someone that you can walk into, that you can see that flicker, and then in turn, you can become that flicker that's always been inside of you. And together you can defeat darkness. And you will run to more people that would eventually form a flame. Together we are a flame. We are a flame together. Apart, we are a flicker. So I say this to say, continue flicking, and we'll continue to defeat darkness. May God bless all of y'all.
Thank you. So we invite you downstairs. We have coffee. Mary Kay has been making cinnamon rolls. Della's been setting out food. So please come downstairs, have something to eat, visit with the contributors, look at the zines. I think Mindful Mike was putting it on the video so you can watch all of these run through. There are 3 more that we didn't have time to do, so come down and look at those. And AVP does workshops here at church, and in 2 weeks we are going to do a mini workshop on empathy. And if you want to check us out, see what we're about, come and join us. You just want to explore empathy for yourself. It's a very interactive, it's a very moving workshop, and we would love to have you join us. And we have flyers downstairs about the workshop that you can pick up and take with you. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you to our wonderful contributors. Love you guys.